You can become a Canadian permanent resident and eventually a citizen by buying or starting a business in Canada. There are about 24 programs related to business immigration for Canada, but today we're going to talk about a program which a lot of people don't know about. It's a great program with genuine businesses for sale and quick processing times. My name is Rashid Ali. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant from Milton, Canada. In this channel, I share information about Canadian immigration, different kinds of visas, entrepreneur interviews, so you get the right information in the least amount of time. The program we're going to talk about today is called Alberta Rural Entrepreneur Stream. It's called rural because it is based in the rural cities of Alberta. They are rural, yet they have schools, medical centers, jobs, and things that are needed for a high quality of life. The cities and towns that are participating in this program all have a population of less than 100,000 people, and they're all outside Calgary and Edmonton metropolitan areas. These are the two biggest cities in Alberta. The way it works is that you purchase or start a business in one of these 40 plus communities in Alberta. Because more than 40 cities and towns are part of this initiative, there are a lot of options to buy businesses or start a new business. By doing so, you eventually get your work permit, your permanent residence, and citizenship. Here are the 12 main steps of this program. Number 1, research and identify a business. This step is all about doing your research, trying to figure out which business you want to buy or start, whether it will be profitable or not. Do you have the required skills to run that business? Number 2, visit the community physically or virtually. So ideally, you should physically go visit the community. It's also called an exploratory visit, where you do some more hands-on research about your business, meet the relevant people. But these days, depending on the community, you can also do this visit virtually. Step number 3 is getting a letter of support from the community. Now that you've identified your business, you want the community to support you. You'll need a letter of support to then go to step 4, which is submission of an expression of interest to the government of Alberta. Now this is the step where you're moving from the community level to the provincial level. This is the first time you're talking to the government of Alberta. You're submitting an expression of interest and you're letting them know that this is the business you want to start, this is the community, and you're sharing your profile with them. Step number 5 is receiving an invitation to submit a complete application. If the government of Alberta thinks that your application is strong enough, you're scoring enough points, they will then invite you to submit a more detailed application, which is step number 6, where you apply to the government of Alberta with all the details of your business and you submit that letter of support. You'll also need to submit additional documents like proof of language, proof of education, etc. Step number 7, if the government approves your application, you will then sign a performance agreement. Like other provincial entrepreneur programs, this is where you are committing with the government of Alberta that you will run this business and there are certain conditions that you will fulfill. Step number 8 is applying for a work permit. Once the performance agreement is signed by both you and the government of Alberta, you will then apply for a work permit so you can come to Canada and start your business, which is step number 9, starting your business. Whether you're starting a new business or buying an existing business, on your work permit you'll be eligible to start working in Canada. So you'll start your business, which brings us to step number 10, which is submitting a report after running your business for 12 months. Once you've run your business at least for 12 months, you can then submit a report to the government of Alberta proving to them that you were able to fulfill the conditions of the performance agreement. After that, the 11th step will be for you to get your nomination certificate, which is also called the provincial nomination. You will use this provincial nomination package to apply for permanent residence. During all of this time, you must continue to run your business. It may sound like a lot of steps, but I can help you every step of the way. I also want to share a few important points about the exploratory visit to the community. The visit can be you physically going in the community, but these days due to COVID, it can also be a web-based exploratory discussion with the community. That really varies depending on the community. You should keep record of this visit. Whom did you meet? What did you discuss? What was the benefit of that? Any business cards? Because you will need all of this information for the exploratory visit report. After this visit, you will also need to fill a business proposal summary that you will then give to the community. The community will then make a decision whether or not to nominate you based on this proposal. If they think it is beneficial for the community, they will issue you a community support letter, which you can then use to submit your expression of interest to Alberta. Now let's talk about what are the basic eligibility requirements. What should your profile be to be successful in this program? Work experience is very critical. You must have at least 3 years of work experience as an active business owner or manager, or minimum 4 years of experience as a senior manager. If you're an employee, you must be a senior manager within the last 10 years. In terms of education, you must at least have high school diploma, so grade 12, and you do need to provide an educational credential assessment to prove this education is equivalent to Canadian standards. As far as language goes, the criteria is not very tough. You do need to speak English or French, but with a score of at least CLB4. Another important aspect is your minimum net worth. You must have a minimum net worth of 300,000 Canadian dollars. You can combine your spouse's net worth for this calculation. You also need to invest at least $200,000 in this business. But if you invest more, you will get more points. And some businesses just require more investment. I can think of one coffee shop right now in one of these rural communities where the owner is selling the coffee shop along with the accommodation, the whole building. So you have a bedroom, washroom, kitchen, a den, all of this for around $500,000. If you're interested in this business opportunity or many more, get in touch. Business ownership is also very critical. If you're starting a new business, you must have at least 51% ownership in the business, controlling interest, which means that you can partner with someone, but that partner must be a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident. If you're buying this business from someone, so if it's business succession, you must have 100% ownership of the business. Job creation is also important. If you're buying a new business, you don't need to create any jobs, but if you're starting a new business, you must create at least one full-time job for a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident. And this citizen or permanent resident cannot be your relative. If you create more jobs, you will get more points. This job must be there for at least 6 months. One of the requirements is also the community support letter. We already spoke about that. On top of this, there are some factors that increase your points, increase your chances of success. One of those is business succession. If you're buying an existing business, it gives you more points because it is good for the community. If your age is in the range of 21 to 49 years, you get more points. If your spouse can either speak English or French at CLB4, or they have at least 1 year of post-secondary education, that also gives you additional points. If you have relatives in Alberta, and by relatives I mean immediate relatives only, you also get more points. I actually spoke with officers from a few communities. I interviewed them to get their insights on the program and what kind of businesses are available. I will post those interviews in the future videos, so subscribe to the channel. That way you can hear directly from those officers. Meanwhile, if you're interested in this program and want to explore this and other options, I will leave a contact form in the description where you can share your details to proceed further with a professional consultation. Because there are dozens of other programs where you might be eligible for Canadian immigration. Thank you so much. See you next time.